I authored a program called Your Wish is Your Command, How to Manifest Your Desires. It's being called the greatest success course of all time. It's 14 hours of training, and it's different than anything out there because it's coming from myself and people who have generated billions and billions and billions of dollars in sales and profits. We know what we're talking about. The law of attraction is kind of true, but everyone out there teaching the law of attraction, all the success gurus, they're just talking about what they know about instead of what they know from personal experience. If you want success, if you want financial freedom and independence, if you want to learn how to manifest and create the life you want, you should get this course. Your wish is your command. It's different than anything that's in the books Think and Grow Rich, Ask and It Is Given, The Magic of Thinking Big, The Magic of Believing. And it contains different information that you haven't heard anywhere in any format because the people teaching these success principles really don't know. They just know about. This course was recorded live, and the participants paid $50,000 to attend. It's been recorded. It's available as an instant digital download. Just click on the link. The course is called Your Wish is Your Command, How to Manifest Your Desires. Get it and change your life. And if you do, I know I will see you at the top.
I bought a Porsche. I manifested a Rolex.
I am totally unrecognizable to who I was 4 years ago.
My income doubled.
I manifested the home of my dreams.
I was able to retire at the age of 31.
He's built multi-million-dollar companies. His explosive books on health and wealth have sold over 60 million copies. Now, The Kevin Trudeau Show, they don't want you to know.
Hey, Kevin Trudeau here. Limitless, The Kevin Trudeau Show. Glad to have you here with me. Manifesting your goals, dreams, and desires. It's the hottest topic on the internet. All these people are coming out of the woodwork. I don't know who the hell they are. And they're saying, oh, learn the secrets of how to manifest money. Learn the secrets of how to manifest your reality. Learn the secrets. I know the secrets. I'm the only guy who knows the secrets. I got the secret of how to make your dreams come true, how to use your mind to manifest and create what you want to happen in your life. Who are these people? What have they ever done? Well, today you're going to learn that your wish is your command. How to manifest your desires. Oh, what does Kevin Trudeau know about that? Well, let me tell you a story. I never gave a speech on how to make money or how to manifest anything until I had generated over $5 billion in business. Now, you find another guy out there, and there may be one. I don't know who they are. All of the people out there teaching how to manifest goals and dreams, how to create your reality with your mind, they have never done anything. There's an old saying, if you can't do, teach. Today, you're going to learn some stuff that nobody else is talking about because they don't know. They may know about manifesting because they read a bunch of books written by people who know about manifesting. They've never ever actually done it in their life. And the reason they wrote a book is they read some books and went to some seminars and regurgitated the information and put it into a new book. That's all you're being exposed to is sound, good advice on how to manifest goals and dreams and desires. Well, today you're going to learn some stuff that isn't out there anywhere. And I've reviewed a lot of this stuff because I thought maybe there's something really good out there. And there really isn't. Well, today you're going to learn that your wish is your command. As a matter of fact, there's an audio program that I did almost 20 years ago, I guess 20 plus years ago, called Your Wish is Your Command, How to Manifest Your Desires, How to Create a Perpetual Money-Making Machine. And it's 14 CDs. Nobody gets CDs anymore. We give it as a digital download. And this is a seminar, and I'll just tell you the quick story behind this. I was in the Brotherhood, as you know, a secret society. I learned how to use your mind to manipulate energy and matter and manifest goals, dreams, and desires. That's what I learned. I learned it from people that were worth hundreds of millions of dollars and who were worth billions of dollars. I learned it by members of royal families. These were members of the Brotherhood. Billionaires, the biggest, most powerful movers and shakers in the world. That's who was in the Brotherhood. They're senior to Skull and Bones. They're senior to Bohemian Grove, the Council on Foreign Relations. But they're all interrelated. And I was inducted into that organization back in the late 60s when I was very young. And I was taught how to use the mind to manipulate energy. I used those techniques to do lots of things, which we'll talk about in a future episode. But I used those techniques to generate companies that generated billions of dollars in sales in Australia, in the US, in Canada, South Africa, the UK, and some parts of Europe. I applied what I learned, showing and proving that it works. I manifested my dreams. I manifested money. And I was told specifically that your mission, your purpose in life down the road is going to be more spiritual. But right now you have to have a resume of success that is almost unparalleled. I never went to college. My dad was a welder, wonderful guy. My mom was wonderful. She was fantastic. My family was wonderful. I loved my family. Loved my mom and dad and all my family members. Just really lovely. A lot of love and attention. But nobody was rich. They were wonderful people. They were rich in their heart and rich with compassion and love and kindness and joy and happiness. But they weren't rich financially. They were workers. And there's nothing wrong with that. But starting off on the wrong side of the tracks, per se, I was behind the eight ball. I had no money to start. I had no education. I had no connections. I just had a dream. And I had the knowledge of how to manifest, how to set a goal, and how to use the mind to actually have it create and manifest in physical reality. But I wanted to manifest money out of thin air. So I said, okay, I know how to do this. So let me tell you exactly what I want, universe. I said, I want to have a check coming in for the memory business every week, at least $100,000 a week, minimum, at least $100,000 a week, every week for the rest of my life, and I never have to work for it. How do I do it? You figure it out. I don't know how to do it. You manifest, and I use the techniques, which I'm going to share you a couple techniques today. So I use those techniques. Mega Memory went on to do $450 million in sales, and I got royalties. My first royalty check was $268,000 for the week. For the week. And I got checks of over $100,000 every single week. I manifested that in 7 days using the techniques. And here's the point. The point is, if you are listening to people on the internet, if you're reading books or going to seminars on how to manifest, you're probably being taught sound good information and not the real stuff. After I did this dozens of times, by the way, and generated over $5 billion in business, many people around me said, Kevin, can you please teach us how you manifest? Because clearly you're doing something that nobody else is teaching. It's not in Dale Carnegie's book, Think and Grow Rich. It's not in the law of attraction. It's not in Walter Waddell's book, The Science of Getting Rich. It's not in Charles Haniel's book, The Master Key to Riches, which are all good books. But it's not in them because those guys never became billionaires. They're writing books on how to manifest, on how to make money and how to get rich, but they never were rich. You're doing something different. And I said, yeah, I learned it from guys who are billionaires, and those guys ain't teaching people outside the Brotherhood. This is a secret society type of bit of information. people kind of stumble upon things sometimes, and there's a lot of sound good advice, and quite frankly, there's some advice that may produce some decent results. And sometimes people don't even know what they're doing if it's working, and then they're teaching what they think they're doing, but it's not even what they're really doing. And then the other guy tries it, it doesn't work. Which is why it's estimated that 98% of people who read manifesting books like Ask and It Is Given, which is an excellent book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, or The Law of Success in 16 Lessons by Napoleon Hill, or The Master Key to Riches by Charles Haniel. Any of these manifesting books, The Magic of Believing, any of these manifesting books, 98% of them don't become successful. They may increase their income a little, and they may be happy with that, but none of them become mega successful. It's unbelievably rare. And those who do don't even know what they did. They kind of stumbled upon it. And if you ask them what they did, they really don't know. And if they think they know, and they try to duplicate their success using what they think is the pattern for success or the recipe for success or the formula for success, it doesn't work. And they scratch their head and go, why? Because they don't even know what the recipe is. They don't know what the algorithm is for success. There is an algorithm. There's an actual mathematical. It's an actual mathematical formula. It's mathematical because it deals with not just physics, but quantum physics. It's mechanics. We're dealing with the universe. So those books really don't have the missing magical woofle dust, if you say, that really creates the results. It's good information, clearly, but it's missing things. So all these people kept saying, Kevin, please teach. And I said, listen, that's not my business. So I said, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll charge $50,000 because that way we'll get rid of all of the riffraff. We'll only deal with people that have already achieved a certain level of success, which is what we deal with in the Brotherhood. We don't deal with people who need help. We deal with people who don't need help. And someone said, well, that doesn't sound right. Well, in the Brotherhood, we make the able more able. We're not here to save the poor. It's just like if you go to the New England Conservatory of Music and say, I can't play anything. I can't play anything on the piano. I can't play any instrument. I can't sing. I can't hold the note. But I want to come to the New England Conservatory of Music, and I want you guys to teach me how to play an instrument. They're going to say, sorry, we only deal with people who are the best musicians, and we're going to make them great. Make sense? So the Brotherhood does the same thing. It takes the best of the best and makes them even better. Takes them to a new level, which is beyond human comprehension. So I said I'm going to charge $50,000. I'll do it in the Alps. In the Brotherhood, we had one of our guys had this beautiful, opulent place there, right in between Austria, Switzerland, and Italy. So for 2 days, I taught the secrets to this small group of people. There was about 100 people there. Interestingly enough, there was a king from an Asian country that was there. There were other members of royal families there. There were billionaires there, major politicians that were there as well, because they wanted to hear from me because of my involvement in the Brotherhood. They knew me. In some cases, we knew each other personally. Otherwise, we just knew each other by name, and they knew of me. So they went, and I recorded that seminar. And that's what this is, Your Wish is Your Command. I recorded it 14 hours. Then I went into the studio, cleaned it up a little bit, added some things in the studio as well to put together this package. It is the finest manifesting course of all time. It is the #1 most organized and systematic, step-by-step method on how to manifest goals, dreams, and desires, revealing information and techniques that aren't in any other book anywhere. There are people there that wanted to make money, increase their business, and that happened virtually 100% of the time for everybody who was there. Some of the people that were involved in government had some major political issues and election problems. They wanted to manifest things. And one person, the election flipped. The guy was down by 20 points in the polls, and he wins the election by 20 points. And it was the most largest flip in history using the techniques. The techniques work. So then I put this on this CD series, and I offered it to a small group of people that I had known that we had a mailing list. So I put together a letter, and I told people, look, you're on my mailing list. I know who you are. You kind of qualify for this. You're not some salami. You're not a nobody. You're a somebody, and you might want this. And I'm going to charge you next to nothing, only $1,000. And this was 20 years ago. So what is that, like 5,000 today? But it is. It's next to nothing. So it was like $1,000, and we had all these people buy it. Okay, and I gave the money to charity anyway. It wasn't for I'm trying to sell it for myself. The only reason you actually have that is so you have an even exchange. You have to have some type of money so there's some type of even exchange. This way, the person knows of the value. And I said, all you have to do is just send me letters, or we didn't have emails back then. Send me letters with the results. And we have these thousands of letters that poured in from people that used the Your Wish is Your Command and saw these unbelievable, miraculous results. And when you read sometimes 2 or 3 pages of a letter from somebody who's saying, I did this, I did this, I did this, and this was the results, you couldn't write this in a script. If you walked into Hollywood and said, here's the story of this person who used these techniques, they would say, this no one's going to believe it. It's too good to be true. It's too good to be true. It's too good to be true. But it is true. These are all documented, substantiated, real-life examples of people who manifest everything from cars and spouses and better relationships and children. They're infertile, and all of a sudden they get pregnant. Manifesting better health, manifesting jobs and careers and massive income, business opportunities, manifesting miracles in lawsuits, on and on and on. Again, you can't put a price tag on it. And I just stopped selling it. Nobody could get it. Nobody could have access to it except members in my private club. Well, last year, a bunch of people got together with me, and they kept saying, there's a need. And the reason there's a need, Kevin, is there's all these charlatans, all these hucksters, all these fraudsters, all these wannabes, all these people, in some cases, very well-intentioned, that are going on YouTube and on the internet and on Spotify and Rumble and Apple Podcast, and they're setting up websites, and they're going on all these different platforms on Facebook, and they're producing AI-generated books on how to manifest your goals. I said, show me. So they printed dozens and dozens and dozens of these books, and I'm reading them, and I'm going, this is all generated by AI. It's crap. It's garbage. It doesn't say anything. And they said, we know, but millions of people are wasting their money buying this stuff, and then they're wasting their time, hour after hour, reading it, thinking that these are the secrets to manifesting, and then wondering why it doesn't work. And then they're getting a bad taste in their mouth, and they're saying, this manifesting stuff is all BS. It doesn't work. Well, it does work. You just don't have the right formula. You're being misled. You're being lied to. You're being deceived. They said, Kevin, we got to bring back Your Wish is Your Command. It's the only program out there that goes step by step by step and shares with people what you learned from the Brotherhood on how to manifest goals, dreams, and desires. And it's the only one that is documented, substantiated, and proven to work. You need to get it out there. We said, okay, after many, many conversations, and they kept on showing me all this crap that was on the internet. Watch this video. How does this make you feel, Kevin? This guy's out there saying this is how you manifest. I go, well, that's not how you manifest. They go, we know. People are watching this video. There's 2 million hits on this video. That means people are watching this clown telling people how to manifest, and you know that's not how to manifest. That's not going to work. It's going to lead to disaster. People are going to waste their time and money, and you know it's not going to work because the guy doesn't know how the universe works. Fine.